Well, this here is the all-new Tata Altroz CNG. Now, when Tata Motors launches any new car, the entire market stops, gets up and takes notice. And the reason for that is that their cars are the safest cars, they're very sturdy, and they're also built for people like you and me, for average middle-class people. And Tata also is very thoughtful when they make cars, and this is also a very thoughtfully made car. Why is that? Well, this car uses twin cylinder technology. What does that mean? No, it's not got two cylinders on the engine, but it's got two cylinders for the CNG. Yes, unlike a lot of other rivals who only use one cylinder and a big one, which eats up into boot space, this car uses two cylinders. Two cylinders means that they're small, but they are accommodated into the spare wheel area where the spare wheel would be, and that means you can actually use the boot of this car. So that's very thoughtful. It means that practicality is good. It means that space utilization is good. But where's the spare wheel? Well, the spare wheel is under the floor, and I'll just show it to you and show you how you can take it out and take it back in or put it back in. But what do you think of this car's looks? I think the Tata Altroz is one of the best looking cars in the hatchback segment. In fact, it's one of the best looking cars on sale for a budget of about 10 lakh rupees. Yes, it's one of the best looking cars in terms of the overall looks and the silhouette. And this one I think just looks the part. If you especially look at the face, you of course get these wraparound headlamps, you get that huge grille, and also the sculpted out bumper, which looks very aggressive and definitely gives this car a very classy look. You of course will really like the side profile. It's a very balanced silhouette, and you will also enjoy the back end of this car. The only difference in terms of design is the fact that you get one sticker at the back which says CNG. Prices for this car start from about 7.5 lakh rupees ex showroom and go all the way up to 10.5 lakh rupees for this particular version, which is the top of the line version with the sunroof and a lot of other fancy features. We'll talk about the features later, but now let's show you that boot area and show you what this car's twin cylinder technology is all about. My name is Ashish Masih. If you come to this channel for the first time, please like, share and subscribe. Well, let's start this review by talking about the boot, because the boot is the most important part on this car, because on any CNG car there's no boot really, because the gas tank really takes up the entire space, but there's no gassing around on this car because this car really means what it says. And Tata Motors of course is using the punchline OMG because it really is OMG. Once you open up this boot lid, you'll see that you can actually use the boot on this car. You can see here there's a big bag. I'll just take it out and show the size of it to you so that there's no two ways about it. It's a big bag and also medium sized bag over here, carry bag you can call it, and both of them are easily fitting into the boot of this car. You can also accommodate maybe one small bag. So if you're traveling up the hills for the summer vacations and you're traveling with your family, maybe your wife and a couple of kids, then no problem whatsoever in terms of the storage space on this car. And it just shows you that a little bit of thoughtfulness, a little bit of being in touch with the customer demands can go a long way in delivering a product which is both practical, usable, as well as decent value for money as well. Now I'll remove these bags, show you those twin cylinders, and also show you the method to take out the spare wheel, which is mounted below the floor. And of course after that we'll take this car out for a spin, show the interiors as well. Overall, I'll give the boot of this car a good score of 9 out of 10. Well, now let's show you the mechanism to remove the stepney, the spare wheel. First of all, let me just show you the twin cylinders. These are the twin cylinders over here, and as you can see, they really are packed very nicely. A lot of bolts and a lot of secure structures have been given to them. So it's a very safe and sturdy kind of design, also very safe and sturdy. Now over here you get a small nut, and all you do is move it like this. And once you of course open it up, you'll see towards the lower end of the floor, or this part, you'll see the tire comes out, the spare wheel comes out, and that's the way it's done on a lot of cars. A lot of MPVs, a lot of SUVs do this. Now the Innova, which is a very popular car, the Innova Krista, also has this kind of system where the spare wheel is mounted like this, and of course you have to take it out and put it back in. So it's not something which you haven't seen on any car in India before, but of course it's the first time you're seeing it on a hatchback. So a lot of innovation, a lot of thoughtfulness, and a lot of creativity has gone behind making this car, and all this of course adds up to give you a lot of boot space, which I showed you earlier. Let's put this back in before it completely goes out, and after that we'll take this car out for a spin and test it and tell you whether petrol power is better than CNG, or whether CNG really is as good as petrol power on this car. Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices. And also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Well, so as soon as I started driving of this car, I had to really check whether I'm driving on CNG or petrol. And I pressed this button over here, and I was actually driving on CNG, and I shifted back to petrol. And honestly speaking, I'm not exaggerating in the least. There's absolutely no visible drop in terms of performance. The performance really is very good, even on CNG mode. And today, as you can see from the setting, we're driving in Goa, and just around the Varna industry here, there's a place where there's a little bit of an incline, a little bit of a decline. So we're testing it over there, and I have to say that there's absolutely no drop in performance. I don't have to turn the AC off. I don't have to use a lower care, to get on that incline. And really, I have to say the performance is something which will really make you go OMG. That's the tagline that Tata Motors is using, and it really will make you go OMG. It is that good. I'm not exaggerating in the least. I have driven a lot of CNG cars before, and sometimes you can see them drop in performance as soon as you switch over to the CNG fuel, but no such thing on the Altroz CNG. So it is quite good. The other benefit, of course, is that this platform is a very sturdy platform. So the ride comfort really is supreme. Yes, this car rides as if it's riding on a carpet of air. It's so good. And all these ruts and badly made roads and those rumble strips, nothing seems to affect the cabin. Nothing seems to really make this car, get into trouble. It just eats up all those badly pastured roads without any fuss whatsoever. The handling also is quite good. When you push into corners, steering wheel is quite positive, and of course the body roll is non-existent really. There's a little bit of body roll, but it's always under control, and the grip from the tires also is something which is quite good. So on the whole, dynamically, it's a very sorted out package. The braking effort is also good, and when you hit the brake pedal, this car just drops the anchor down, so it is quite commendable as well in that department. Now visibility wise, you get very big wing mirrors, one mirror here on the other side, huge big mirror over here, so you get a good view at the back, and of course it's got nice and big windows, so you get a very airy feel inside the cabin as well. So really, on the whole, it's a very positive package and nice to drive. Now we're driving the manual version. How is the gearbox? Well, it's just like the regular Altroz. It's quite smooth to operate, and the gear shifts also are nice and short. The clutch action is also quite positive, and it's a very linear feeling clutch, so also makes you feel nice. It won't tire you out at the end of a long day. It's not a car which will tire you out. The steering wheel also gives you very good feedback, and it's very well weighted. It's a very well weighted steering wheel, which means that neither is it too hard that you start feeling very tired at the end of a long day, and neither is it so soft that you start feeling nervous when you take it out on the highway. And talking about the highway, well, the stability of this car really is very good out there in the open road. It feels so rock solid, so reassuring. It just gives you a positive vibe. The only, I would say, little bit of nitpicking that I'll do is that the engine starts to become a little buzzy. I won't call it noisy, but it becomes a little buzzy once you push it over 3000 RPM, 3500 RPM. If you drive it around 2500 RPM till about 2900 RPM, it feels okay. But after that, it does tend to become a little buzzy. But honestly speaking, most drivers or most middle class people like me and you never really rev the engine hard. It's only, YouTubers who do that, and some car reviewers do that, and then they'll tell you that, it's become very noisy and stuff like that. But on the average, most car buyers normally, when they're driving their cars, they change gears, they upshift or downshift around 2000 or 2500 RPM. So for everyday drivers, the engine is okay. But yes, if you are in the habit of revving it up quite a lot, going beyond 3000 RPM on a regular basis, then sometimes it can become a little buzzy inside the cabin. But on the whole, on the highway, when you're cruising, it's a nice and silent car. And I have to say that the music system of this car is quite good, because the insulation is really very nice. And because of that insulation, it just gives you better ambience when listening to music inside the car. Very limited amount of noise comes in from the other traffic and other motorists as well, especially with big buses and stuff like that who always come close to it and honk. So insulation generally is quite good. Once you shut these doors, you sit inside this car in a very relaxed, calm manner. You really are shut off from everything else out there. Well, let me just show you something which I really enjoy inside every Tata car, and that is the way the door shut. Very solid. Let me remove the water bottle and do it once again so you can hear it in a more crisp manner. Let's do it one more time. Just very solid, very reassuring. Of course, I don't have to tell you about the crash test safety rating of this car because you already know that it's a very safe and secure car, one of the best in the business. Now, in terms of the overall plastic quality, ambience, it is quite good. But let me just start off with a bit of negative as well, and that negative is that this touchscreen is really very tiny, and the menus and the sub-menus and the fonts and everything should have been better, and they now should introduce a bigger touchscreen inside this car because it's a very premium car. I think they should introduce a bigger touchscreen. So that's something which is a bit of negative. What's also negative is this. The rear view, when you put it into reverse, isn't the best. The camera, I think it's not even, decent quality. It should have been better quality because this is a premium car, as I said. But what you can easily do is ignore all those things because the feature on this car are very well loaded. You get air purifier with AQI meter. You of course get CNG fuel changeover switch. You get two different cages, one for the CNG, one for the petrol. You get automatic headlamps. You get automatic wipers. You also get automatic climate control. Two different type of USBs, USB Type C and the old school USB, a 12-volt charging point, and of course also a sunroof. And you also get a lot of voice commands. You can open the sunroof, close the sunroof, move the temperature up and down and stuff like that using those voice commands. So it's a very well carried out car, and that's something which a lot of buyers will appreciate. What you'll also appreciate is the overall utility places. Yes, the door bins are large enough to have those big 1 liter bottles. What's also good, you can keep these bottles here, and of course the glove box is really a massive unit. It's a very deep unit. You can easily go on a road trip and at least 5 or 6 this size bottles you can keep over here, and no one will complain about having to stop at the local dhaba getting those water bottles. Seat comfort also is generally very good. Very comfortable seats, both cushioning for your under thighs and for your lower back is good. Side folds as well, and in general Tata's fit and finish is quite good as well. And of course the ambient lighting is something which I truly appreciate. In terms of the features, in terms of the quality, in terms of the ambience, I'll give this car a very good score of 8 out of 10. The sound system also is something which you really have to listen to it to believe it. Yes, the touchscreen might be tiny and small, but the sound quality is generally very good. You won't have to go to an aftermarket guy to upgrade the stereo setup. So 8 out of 10 to the front seats and the cabin. Let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so let me show you the way the doors open on this car. I showed you how they shut off the front seats, but just see this, a big 90-degree opening for the door, and that means that getting in and out of this car is a very breezy affair. You don't have to struggle because the doors only open about 45 degrees, 60 degrees, they open all the way 90 degrees, and that's something which a lot of people, who have parents who are aging, if your parents are about, in their late 50s or early 60s or maybe even in their 70s, this is something you'll appreciate because getting in and out of this car is really a breezy affair because of the doors and how they open up. Once you get inside, you'll really enjoy the seats. The seat comfort generally is very good, and even if I sit up completely straight like this, my head is not brushing on the roof. My height is 5'10", and someone who's about 5'11" or even 6 will easily have decent amount of space here. You'll also get good amount of knee room, and the front seat has been raised up, so you can stretch your feet a little bit over there as well. Seat comfort is quite good. You also get good backrest support, and the support for your lower back generally is quite good. Knee and hip angle is a nice 90 degree, so you sit nice and comfortable. You also get your own AC vents, USB charger, and of course the floorboard is completely flat, so whoever's sitting in the middle has plenty of place to stretch his feet. So that's also a big positive. In case there's nobody sitting over here, you can always pull out this armrest and sit here like the boss, and of course have a look at that fantastic dashboard. It really is a very nice and classy place to be in, and Tata Motors has done a very good job with the interiors of this car as well as the seats both in front and at the back. And I'll give this car's back seat a very strong score of 10 out of 10. It really is a very comfortable place to be in. Well, so when you plan to buy any kind of CNG vehicle, you also have to buy a rooftop carrier along with it. And the reason for that is that there's no space in the boot, but that big negative is turned into positive with the Altroz ICE CNG because the boot is really massive and can easily accommodate 2 or 3 bags. So it really is a very usable boot. Apart from that, when you drive this car on CNG mode, it doesn't feel like you're driving it in CNG. It just feels as good in terms of performance as it is on petrol. So there's no visible drop in terms of performance. That's also a big positive. And apart from that, of course, the other positives are already there. The safe and sturdy build, the safety rating, as well as the roomy cabin, along with the rich list of features, makes this a very good package if you're in the market for any kind of CNG car. If you're in the market for a compact SUV, hatchback, sedan, I think this car should definitely be on the top of your buying list. You should definitely keep it in the short list and on top of that short list if you're planning to buy any kind of CNG car.